my motion would be to send this back to the finance committee to bring back through next month. So that's a motion.
I got a motion on the floor to table.
Second, Janelle Ressler.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
Recommend approval of the 2025-2026 proposed final budget.
That's all. What was that again?
Recommend approval of the 2025-26 proposed final budget.
Okay. I have a motion on the floor to approve the proposed final budget for 2025-2026. Do I have a second?
Second,
Any further discussion that we haven't already had? Hearing none, all those in
Well,
favor?
Carl, I was waiting for somebody else to speak. I pulled it because I would like to make a comment. Again, I'd like to mention the 3.2 million, only because I feel that we're going to be running so thin that next year when we do a budget, we're going to have to come back, at least it's going to be recommended we raise taxes next year. So I don't agree with leaving the 3.2 million in that account and using the rainy day fund.
How do you know that we're going to raise taxes?
I didn't say we were, I said we may. We may. I didn't say we were. I just said we may.
All those in favor, any more comments? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Recommend approval, G, recommended approval of the 2025-2026 FSMC contract with Chartwells.
Get a motion on the floor to approve the Chartwell contract for 2025-2026. Do I have a second?
Second, Lawyer.
Discuss, any further discussion we haven't
Yeah,
talked?
I just want to reiterate, I've already made comments on this regarding the way the contract was done, so I'm going to vote on this.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carries.
I recommended, excuse me, letter I, recommended renewal of the 2025-2026 PSBA contract.
You did recommend. Recommend approval of the 2025-2026 PSBA contract. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carries.
J, recommended approval of the B&B integrations agreement to replace the Blue Gym sound system approved capital project.
Okay, all those in favor signify by,
Second.
second, sorry.
Second, Lawyer.
Second, lawyer. Discussion.
I have talked to several people in the last week or so, legitimately talked to them, and they are glad to see that we are doing something with this sound system. It is much needed.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly what they say. It's
yes.
much needed.
So you talk to people too.
Yeah,
and saying
they're
that.
very
Yes.
happy about the new sound.
Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carries.
Okay. Item P1 and 26 is noted.
And I just say, we forgot to thank the anonymous donation. It went by so fast. We just acknowledge that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, under personnel, does anyone have any items they wish to be pulled and voted on separately?
Nick, I would do just letter B, just for some clarification, that's all.
And we pause it after a second. Just pull it, yeah.
I want to pull, that's 4.
I'm pulling the whole thing.
Oh,
I like to pull A.
All of them or just a specific?
Well, I don't want to get in,
Well, we have to do,
does that have to do with?
I don't want to go into executive session again, so and hold these people up.
oh, we have to.
Okay.
Our personnel.
All right, just pull it.
First discussion.
And then, H. I have to pull I too. J
Correct.
and K.
Hold on a second. Nick, do me a favor and give me that one more time.
C, D, G, H, J, and K.
Okay.
Okay, says no vote
K's-
required.
K's noted.
Okay, okay. All those in favor, you want B?
That's cool.
Okay. Okay, a recommendation on the floor to approve C, D, G, H, and I. Do I have a second? Oh, J, sorry. No, I, J.
Steve, you're the second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried.
Form of motion to recommend approval of the list of volunteers 1 through 8.
Second, Ressler?
Okay. I've got a motion on the floor. I have a second from Ms. Russell. Do I have any discussion?
Yes. I don't want to get into specifics, but I'm looking at the names here, and my discussion is going to be this. I realize that nobody's questioning any of these individuals personally, but they only had to go through their clearances to get this, and I'm still not a volunteer. I find that kind of concerning, and that's the point I wanted to make. It's been a year since I was denied being a volunteer. It would have been 5/20/2024. I would like to have some type of consideration to be a volunteer. I see a board member on here that is becoming a volunteer. I'm not disputing it. I'm not disputing it. But part of being a volunteer is just passing the clearances and such, and I did all that. I passed that in a DV test, and I'm still not a volunteer.
I haven't heard any correction here. There is one correction. 6 is not ACES, it's NAMS. So please, do that one. This conversation is noted. Ask the answer. Any other discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
In the form of a motion to recommend approval of the contracted Lincoln drivers 1 through 4.
Motion on the floor to recommend your contracted Lincoln drivers. Do I have a second?
Second, Ressler.
Do I have a discussion?
Yep, I just wanted, this isn't gonna interfere with our bus drivers from Price, right? Okay. Okay. That's all I wanted, just confirmation. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
At this time, we could open the floor for nominations for a board treasurer.
I nominate Jean Ewing.
Second, Janelle Ressler, or second, or we have more people coming in? Like, do we have?
That's the second. First, there's one. Do I have any other nominations for board treasurer?
Will I ever have to, say item A?
No. The only thing you have to do
Instead of item A?
is you do have to, before the end of this month, sign in a little box about 6 times. And you can get bonded.
You'll have to
correctly?
come see me.
Yeah,
A bunch of
come see him.
signature changes on all
Okay.
this stuff.
All right. Is there any other nominations? Hearing none, we close the nominations. Currently on the floor, we've got a nomination for Jeannie Ewan for treasurer.
In the form of a motion to recommend approval to elect Jeannie Ewan to serve as the board treasurer for an annual term effective July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026.
Got a motion on the floor to approve. I'm going to pause for 1 second before I do that. Don't we have to approve her for that position first and then put her in there?
What?
I thought we always had to do that.
Approve her for the position and
Then stick her into as.
We have one nominee.
Yeah, but you still, I thought you still had to vote it in.
What?
This is the voting.
Yeah, not this.
No, this is for the position, to vote her into the treasurer's spot. No, I thought we just nominated.
Yeah.
And then don't we have to vote her in, that we all approve that,
Yes,
There's
this
only
is
one
the approval right
nominee,
here,
we close
recommend approval to
nominations.
elect.
and then put her in the spot. That was-
Yeah, nominate, you
Okay.
can vote to close nominations, and then vote to approve her.
I always thought we had two votes, that's why I was like, okay. I need a motion, or I need a nomination to close votes.
Motion to close nominations. So
Nick's
You
got it.
got it, everything got confused for an Amy. All right, so a second to close, do we have a second to close?
Steve Yoder, second.
Okay, all those in favor of closing the votes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now you can do that.
In the form of a motion, recommend approval to elect Jeannie Ewan to serve as board treasurer for an annual term effective July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026.
Got a motion on the floor to recommend approval to elect Jeannie Ewan to serve as the board treasurer for an annual term. All those, I need a second on
Well,
that.
at least 6 months.
Steve Yoder, second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion is carried. Okay.
In the form of a motion, recommend approval of the staff resignations of Jordan Beard, John Newman, Brian Appleton, and Eric Thomas.
Oh, and there's, yours did pick it up,
Chad votes.
and Chad flips.
Who?
No.
No? Okay, I'm
No?
wrong.
And Chad.
No, no, we'll do that.
I'm wrong, I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
It was on some of them,
We don't have the record.
oh, okay.
That's an executive session.
All right,
My fault.
I've got a motion on the floor to approve the following resignations. Jordan Beard, John Newman, Brian Appleton, and Eric Collins. Do I have a second?
Steve Yoder, second.
Comment. Jordan Beard, we just had a nice little discussion about
Yes.
her. The good thing about this one is going to be a substitute teacher, or going to get her
Student
Student
teaching.
student teaching, so
Yeah.
she'll be a teacher, so, hopefully, this one I'm pleased about.
Yes.
The latter one,
Yeah.
not so much pleased about, but it's for a great cause. I never wanna stand in anybody's way of going up and further up in the system, so.
Well, hopefully we can maybe one day make Mrs. Collins a thunderbolt again, so if she would choose to come back to the district.
31 years.
Like Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Berryman and Mr. Moran.
We would welcome her back immediately.
I wish her luck, but 31 years with us, she started with us, I guess, and it's a tragedy for us, but congratulations.
And it's congratulations for the first and fourth at least. I don't know about the other two, but I hope they're going on better things. So I've got a first, a second, any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
In the form of a motion, recommend approval of the fall 2025 head and assistant coaches and volunteers.
I have a motion on the floor to recommend approval of the fall 2025 fall head and assistant coaches and volunteers. Do I have a second? Don't be shy. Do I have a second?
Steve Yoder, second.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
I want to thank Carrie for correcting Brian's name. Thank you. I thought there was another Brian lawyer when I read it, but I said, there's no way. Sorry, Brian.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Okay, that's the end of the personnel report under
Okay.
curriculum,
Okay.
well, case noted. Under curriculum, co-curriculum and policy, committee report, item A is for discussion only. Is there any discussion on item A? Are there any letters, I'm going to pull letter D, or, yeah, I'm going to pull letter D. Any others that need to be pulled? Hearing none, in the form of a motion, recommend approval of CCNP items B and C.
I have a recommendation on the floor to recommend letter B and C at the CCP committee meeting. Do I have a second?
Second, Janelle.
Okay, and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
In the form of a motion, recommend approval of the 2025 list of graduates.
Got a motion on the floor to recommend approval of the 2025 graduates. Do I have a
members. Look forward to seeing them all walk across the field next Thursday
At 7 o'clock.
at 7 o'clock. So congratulations to our seniors.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Brian, please say aye.
All right, every month this is crazy, because we have our meetings right after this meeting. And then we have meetings, we'll have 2 meetings this week, we have an executive session, later this week, and then we have a regular meeting, this week. Contract is pretty much done, just needs to be approved, so that's good news.
For the assistant?
Oh, no, the contract with the teacher.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh.
that's pretty much done, we just need to approve that. And otherwise, no new information until after the next 2 meetings, and from last week's information. So, unless Steve would like to add anything, he was at the last meeting, I could not make it. I had to take my daughters to Hershey, that meeting, so unless Mr. Gerber would like to add anything from the time he was at the meeting.
Pretty much what you just said. I mean, everybody is working hard and, they're trying to work through the issues and, it's a big project.
All right, anything else? If that's all,
That is all.
Okay.
And report.
Nick?
No report from PSBA this month.
And you all have your LIU highlighted board minute notes in your packets. Nothing to add. Dr. Mitchell,
Thank you. I will try to be quick, but succinct in what I share. And considering a number of different things that have been taking place recently, I think the best thing that I can do to provide clarity for everyone is to just tell a little story. So bear with me, if you will, with the story of the cookie thief. Raise your hand if you've ever heard the story of the cookie thief. Okay, I may have, I don't know. The story of the cookie thief is this. 2 people are at an airport waiting to go on a flight. A woman comes in, sits down, there's a gentleman sitting beside her, and as they're waiting, they have to wait for quite some time, and the woman starts to get hungry. So she has packed a bag of cookies, and she reaches in and she pulls out a cookie and she starts eating it, and she notices the gentleman beside her reaches his hand in, pulls out a cookie, and starts eating it. And she sits there and thinks, oh my goodness, what in the world is happening? This guy's taking my cookies. So she's sitting there enjoying her cookies. She reaches in. The gentleman reaches in beside her. He has one. And they go through this until there's 1 cookie remaining. And the gentleman looks at her and says, you can have the last one. And she says, oh my goodness, I should tell this person exactly what I think of him. He's eaten all of my cookies. The gentleman gets up, goes to board his plane. The woman is getting ready to board her plane. She grabs and looks at all of her things, and she finds her unopened pack of cookies. I share this story just simply to provide everyone that context matters. Perspective matters. The young woman was so angry that her cookies were being eaten, she didn't take the time to question, was it hers? Were they hers? So as we go about our business every day, I would just like you to please reflect on the story of the cookie thief, given all of the things that have recently happened. I would also like to then share, so I'm moving forward, the next item. Transparency and stewardship are the 2 tenets forming a cornerstone for the board work that we do. Transparency, keeping all informed of, and making decisions in meetings open to the public, open to public attendance. Stewardship is understanding that resources are owned by many, with the balance at the center of making those decisions. Balancing student success with financial obligations is paramount. Balancing personal views with the perspective of the district views. Suspicion and circumspect eat away at the genuine work that we do to inspire and nurture the personal growth in our students. The work to fulfill the purpose of our work, helping students meet with success in all forms, is best completed through collaboration, a shared value of this board and this community. Organizations that collaborate well meet with success. to name several successes of the 24-25 school year at Littlestown. Please listen carefully. I have some, and the following are successes that occurred this year under this board leadership. ACEs and MAMs are in the process of creating and implementing a discipline handbook to help continue the trend of decrease of Tier 1 behaviors, increasing the positivity and the positive behaviors of our students. We have seen significantly improved attendance, especially among our learning support students, a target that our administration moved forward, and a target that was brought out in our comprehensive plan. Math and ELA teachers are working to get common planning time. This is another priority that we have to assist with ELA success and increasing the success of our students. Taking the time to listen, talk, collaboratively plan, review successes and failures so that future work provides a direct target for our students. We had extra math for our 6th grade focus. That has been a huge success. We have Science Steals alignment with intensive curriculum that we've provided, K through 8. The American Heart fundraiser raised $461 for the American Heart Foundation. The middle school did this. At LHS, we had 29 students earn certificates through NOCTI exams, industry-based exams that allow students to have a leg up when they leave high school and go to get a job. Our Keystone retesting session saw 36% of our students gain proficiency in algebra, 30% in biology. We've successfully moved into a new C wing of our construction building. We've successfully provided a junior achievement real-life program geared towards helping students simulate financial literacy when they leave high school. We've had successful FBLA participation and a 2nd year in a row with a state officer in John Lehigh. With Daughters of the American Revolution, we've had 1st place locally and a 3rd place level award for our essay contests. Matthew Hogg made all-state band. That is not an easy accomplishment. And we have a tremendous amount of effort by our counselors at our high school with a care closet that provides for the students that are in need at the high school every day. I will say these are all things that have happened in this district under this board's leadership and administration. We have great things happening, and it is happening through collaboration and hard work. That ends my report.
A lot of those items are on any Keystone test or test that shows up, PSSA. With that, I'm going to say, I know she's back there somewhere. Where is she? Back row.
All the way in the back.
I'll be honest.
Late, you get stuck in the back.
I'll be honest.
Usually you're stuck in the front.
I
Here
did
you're
forget
stuck in the
about you,
back.
but I did want to put you, but I was like, oh, there's some other residents you're going because
So this is a busy month for us. The weather has not cooperated with us to get the story walk in. We need less rain. So that's still on hold, but nonetheless, this is a very busy month. So through this month, we will be awarding over $18,000 in scholarships and grants to the district. So how that money is getting there is we have 3 teachers that are going to be getting teacher grants. Spencer Peckert up in the high school for his journalism class is getting a special program that's going to enable their journalism in their newspaper to expand and go even bigger. 1st and 2nd grade, Pam Brown and Beth Brown are getting a grant for the Simplified Writing Program, which is a differentiated writing program for 1st graders that will go into place. And then Mindy Reber is going to get a growing station for 3rd grade, and that's going to go in connection with our hydroponics, where they're actually going to have a growing station under lights versus growing in a hydroponic, and they're going to be able to compare and scientific methods, so all kinds of cool things with that. We had student grants that have been awarded to the high school FFA for their tractor project, to the men's wrestling team for the junior, they go to a program that helps their wrestlers, to the high school girls soccer team for a camp they're attending, the high school boys soccer team for a team camp, the high school field hockey team for a summer league, the middle school field hockey team for a summer league, the middle school girls basketball, bringing in Ann and Ellen Bear Clinic, and the LHS FBLA for their state leadership conference that they will be attending in April of next year. We have given runway grants to Mrs. Nelhorn, and we're working with teachers in bringing also the Lego brick kits in to help expand their science programs and to help meet needs that can probably expand across different levels when we get that done. We're going to be awarding 3 scholarships tomorrow night. Monday, is it? No.
Wednesday.
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. It's Monday. Wednesday night. So we had 3 scholarships. The second leader, which was designated before they switched over, and then 2 for the Neil T. Libby. And we also follow those students when they're sophomore, juniors, and seniors in college, and we give them stipends and grant money in order to support them with textbooks in those years also. And all of them applied for that, obviously. And then something new that we are trying this year, one of the things that we understand is a need, is that we always have that summer slump. And it's hard for the students when they go home in the summer. How can we help them? So we're piloting something this year. It's going to be piloted with first graders going into 2nd grade. And they're going to be receiving a backpack. It has a summer workbook in it that they can work at their own pace. There's no stipulations on what they do, what they don't do. We're going to have incentives for them to return it so that we can see what they do. But we're looking at this as a way to see if we can help bridge that summer slump that does occur with our students. This year, like I said, test pilot, 1 grade, we'll be working closely with Ms. Moran, getting, set up. We've already been discussing with the teachers. They should be here this week, that we're going to be passed out. So we're very excited because if this works out well for 1st and 2nd grade, then we're willing to look at expanding it into other grades and focusing, will make an impact, will make a difference on our students and help them. So that's exciting to me. But once again, thank you for working together with us, because this $18,000 that we're giving back to the district is because of the relationship that we have with you and with the community. And keeping that positive outlook on all the good things that we're able to do together is what is really important. I choose every day to look at things from a positive way. I don't have time for negativity. And I need to focus on what is best for our students, what is best for our community as a whole. And I think we have the respect of so many businesses and community members, and that's what's important to me, that they see us as a positive light, and together bringing that positive light into our district and growing it even further. Like they're growing all those plants in the hydroponic garden and everywhere else. So thank you for allowing us to be that positive light. And big things probably coming next year. There will be a clothing collection in August, so we will be doing that again too. And other things, golf tournament Friday.
How did the cake,
Sure. I'm sorry.
how did the cake competition
Dolly
go?
Parton cake. Dolly Parton cake.
Oh, my God, they were good. The cakes went really well.